playing and spectating on an account that has never played Warzone. We're gonna see how different these lobbies are compared to the normal lobbies. So we've already won the gulag. Now we're gonna go splat into the ground. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button. If you're brand new, want to find your way back, double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. As we have been doing, we're gonna go ahead and look up this dude and see what his stats are and see if this is the right lobby. The account that I am playing on does have a little bit of level because it's the account I used to jump in with me when I was grinding my Dark Ether. You load up with an bot, you throw it in with the account, and then you end up with twice as many zombies, and you can get, it ends up being a lot quicker. So this guy actually has a 1.1 KD, only has 3 wins out of 170 matches, which gives him a win rate of 1.8. It looks like weekly, they haven't been playing the game much because his stats don't show a weekly. But overall, that's about it. They ended up with top 10 13 times, top 5 6, and then they ended up only going on to win 3 of those matches. So we'll see how it goes. 600 kills and about 540 deaths. So the video is sponsored by Gigabyte and Nvidia, and they were able to hook me up with one of their brand new RS GeForce RTX 3080 cards. And one of the key advantages with these cards is it will actually help you reduce the system latency with Nvidia Reflex. And I think the perfect examples that shows this off is the example of the peaker advantage versus the holder disadvantage. As you can see kind of in the background, the peaker gets a full vision of what the opponent looks like, and obviously they're more visible compared to the holder. They barely see the elbow of the enemy player. What this kind of looks like depending on your refresh rate is if you are on a little bit of lower refresh rate, you will see a bit of a difference, but as we increase those frames, you can see that we're actually mitigating some of the advantage that the peaker gets to make that a much more even gunfight. So essentially you're going to be able to see them right around the same time that they're seeing you, versus being heavily penalized or allowing that player to take full advantage of that desync in terms of the latency. So something as easy as just going into your settings and enabling plus boost the NVIDIA Reflex, you're gonna be able to mitigate a ton of this difference. One other part that helps with this card is the max covered cooling. And there's 3 different things going on. One is they have these stacked fans, which is gonna help from the airflow to be split by the triangular fan edge and guide smoothly through the 3D stripe curve on the fan surface. They also have a wind claw design, which reinforces and channels the airflow to completely cover the heatsink, which will keep those temperatures a little bit lower. They also use alternate spinning, which can reduce the turbulence of the adjacent fans, increase air pressure, and lead to better heat dissipation. He's slide canceling around, so maybe they are like trying to improve there, or maybe they take bad gunfights. We'll see. 1.1 is right around the average or the top end of average players and what average players look like. So we're going to get a good idea of kind of like what an average player is. And what's weird is a lot of times people will watch these videos and they think, oh man, the lobby's kind of body. But what happens is it really depends on who we end up spectating, right? There's a lot of instances where we end up spectating a good player, a middle average player, and a below average player, and somewhere in between. And then we're going to find out what's going on here. So this guy needs to get to a buy. He must have heard something. He's crouch walking around. Are there any buys nearby? It looks like there are one up here, here. He's got a full circle of them on this left side. This probably isn't the one I would go to. I feel like I would go to this one over here because less likely to have it targeted. This one's a little too far in the open to pop a loadout, but let's see which route they go. I would definitely go this way. It's good that they're going for a vehicle potentially, and then they're going to use a vehicle to scout the area out. Can still loot, get an extra 400 to either get a UAV or potentially get a self-revive. Slide canceling his way to freedom. It's kind of how it goes. Are they still looting? There's a dead silence there. Okay. There it goes. He knows what he's looting. So I wonder if this is like a second account because 170 matches doesn't seem like a crazy amount. Means he averages about 3 kills per match. He already has 1. If he wins 1 more, goes to the gulag, and then wins his gulag, that'd be a total of 3. That's essentially how you can have an average of 3 per match. Just got to avoid those early deaths. So there it goes. He's hitting the buy. Scouting the area. I sound like I heard metal, but I couldn't tell if that was the car. Yep, you can hear the people on the roof. You can hear the metal. Pop the dead silence. Smart play. Come up, pre-aim. The guy's on the metal roof right here. So if you come out, he's to your right. He didn't even check the right. What the heck was that? Unless that was him making the noise, he had dead silence. There it is, the guy on the roof. Wow, he didn't even look to the right. That was his mistake. You can hear it though. The audio is decent enough to hear the metal between. This guy is missing every shot. He's gonna come through. He's gonna kill this guy. The guy doesn't seem particularly good. Nor does this guy, but throw your loadout though, because if you die, the other guy's gonna throw it. All right, guy already had self-revive. Probably found that in a floor loot. Was able to take that guy out. Pretty straightforward kill. Throw your loadout. That guy had a loadout too. Double loadout. What? Grab that dude's loadout. Throw it too. What a savage. He's gonna end up with both. Oh man, that's nuts. What the hell? They both had the loadout. Was he just watching the loadout, the buy? Okay, so he has a gold MP5 with the Krig, which was just nerfed. There it is. The guy's probably not, he would want to come back. But, wow. That's kind of nuts to me. So he ended up getting Growl fully loaded. So now he's stocked up. Still has Ghost, EOD, and Amped. Wow. That was phenomenal. I can't believe that. That's very rare to see that. So he's looking at the map, trying to figure out where he wants to go. Gonna grab a bounty for some direction. So that's 2 kills. Normally this guy dies around this time. So I would imagine that he's gonna make a mistake. Even though he came up, like, why didn't that guy throw his loadout way sooner? Like, obviously someone would push you, but you're gonna be way more comfortable doing a gunfight with your own guns. This guy was already able to get his second loadout before the free one even drops in. Kind of nuts. And what's nice is since this guy is a little bit more inside the zone, when the free loadout drops, the likelihood of it still being in the zone if you happen to go to the gulag and come back is much higher.
Get out of the way. I am the driver.
So now he's going to push the bounty. The ghost does not help you in this scenario. Because you're pushing this full on. Okay, now it might help, depending on where the guy's at. Likelihood of the guy having ghosts is not that high, but there's been a higher uptick in solos where people grab ghosts in that first loadout because that'll help them to avoid until the second loadout comes in, especially since the floor loot, pretty good. You get a Mag 10 53 round mag. You can rock that as your secondary. You don't even need a loadout for that. And then you get like a Krig, something for long range, or a sniper that has all the built out stacked attachments. There it is. The guy's in the vehicle. You might be able to beam him. Pretty solid. This guy does have 90 latency, so that is a bit high for a lobby that I should connect to. It should, most of the players should be West Coast if they're connecting, and usually the peak would be around 60 if you're all connected at the same lobby. So this is obviously East Coast being connected with West and stuff like that. Or I didn't even see my ping at the beginning because we had to set those things up. They weren't automatically on. Yeah, so this is pretty interesting. For the first match of Warzone ever, this is a lobby that this player would have got into. So the guy knows where you're at. You're making a lot of noise. They called in a cluster. Somebody called it on top of them, or did he rotate out? I don't know. He's kind of weird how he's taking this angle. You got to get up the hill. Either way, you got to get up the hill. It seems like this guy has ghost because he did not pop up on the personal radar. Or the heartbeat sensor, rather. Okay, the guy might have pushed for a loadout. Because where your loadout is, the likelihood the guy passed through there is probably pretty decent. I'm going super aggro here. He's like, I need to get this. Only 27 seconds. The guy's probably right next to the buy. Oh, he's up top. You saw him. He didn't see him? Or he did see him. Okay. That's what you get. Oh, man. He was playing with his food. He pushed too aggressively. Dude blew the hell out of him. This guy has 3 kills. Let's see what this guy's stats are. This guy already has 3 kills. The lobby's down already. 2/3 are done. This guy also has a 1.1 KD. Interesting. It looks like his weekly stats are 1.33. So he has some slight improvement over the past 100 matches or so. It looks like he's averaging around 3 kills per match. He has 4,800 matches and 243 wins with a 5% win rate. So it's actually pretty high for someone that we spectate. So it looks like they are improving and they probably play the rotations properly to try and get in winning positions. So he's just watching the loadout, I guess, or the car is. Did he see somebody while I was... Oh, there's a guy. Easy kill. That's kind of cheesy. That was the guy. Oh my God. That's so funny. Was that the same guy? I don't know if it was. I feel like it was. I didn't get a chance to see the name. But that would be funny if it was. He just got double with this combat bow. So this guy's doing a pretty decent slide cancel too. So it makes you wonder, right? Like a lot of the people will spectate. They slide cancel everywhere. And they end up with the 1.1 KD. And it's like, really? So there are big differentiating factors that determine how good a player is. And we've talked about this in other videos, whether it's the rotations, how you position yourself around the map to get easy kills like this person did. They camped the loadout, looking at the vehicle, was able to get the easiest kill while a guy's not even looking at him. Essentially, he's gotten 2 kills that way with a broken combat bow, which was buffed. He's rocking the Swiss, has a MAC 10, seems like a little bit of a sweaty loadout. But we've also seen that there's other factors like recoil control and just general aiming. Centering is huge, which we talked about in our last video where we talked about like you could easily jump up your KD probably like 40, 50 points from like a 1.1 up to a 1.5 or even over a 2. Just from those subtle things as long as you can be consistent. And that's why you got to kind of have the whole package to have decent stats. So for me, I'm very lazy with my movement. But I still have over a 2 KD splatting to the ground regularly, primarily because my positioning and my gun skill is pretty solid. Where I usually lack is I'm lazy with movement, or else I could probably have over a 3.5. If I cared enough, I would focus on that. But for me, I play like 2 hours and my hands will start hurting if I try to move around like Joe. It is what it is. If you're younger, take advantage of it while you can. So he's just rocking the edge of the zone. Some people have kind of coined this term, specifically Iceman Isaac, is the pinwheel rotation, where you kind of move in and then around, in and around, so that basically your left is an invisible wall that's like out of bounds, where you're kind of not going to get shot from that area. So where you're alert to is in front of you and to your right, because if you're moving forward, there's less likely for someone to be behind you as you are moving. So you're doing this rotation, and it is a safe way to rotate in if you do not have future intel, i.e. recons, where you've done multiple and you know where the final zone is going to end. This is more of a traditional way to win a battle royale. You move in, versus the other way is new information. You know it. Boom, rotate early. You're likely to get some easy wins by third partying the last team just because you happen to be in the right zone. They've already gotten their loadout. Likelihood of them having ghosts is pretty high. And we'll see what they do here. So they already got 4 kills and a pretty decent spot. Let me see if I can see how long it's been since they've gotten a win, if the data will update. This guy plays with a decent range of people. Some people 0.6 all the way up to a 2.0, so a pretty decent range. Yeah, the match history is not working properly. It's all good. We got a basic stats of this player. Oh, he's going for the 3. Oh, he popped the Deddy. He popped the Deddy and not be aggressive, but he's still going to get the kill here. Pretty easy kill. That guy slow peeked out of there. He's up to 5 now. He has enough money if he wants to get a UAV. Or he has sitting on the self-revive. He ended up getting a free UAV and picked up his crossbow again. Ended up coming up on a gold gas mask as well. You can see that there are people there where he has marked, so this is pretty straightforward rotation. The problem right here is there could be people on the hill. He wasn't really able to clear that. So normally it's very hard for people to be disciplined on that pinwheel rotation to kind of stay inside and rotating. This is still pretty close though. They are kind of on that edge that they kind of have cleared through on this right side. And then they're pushing up here, and they should ideally be able to get a good third party fight where they're going to be able to kill at least one of these people. If not, like get the guy when they're low health. And then just run up and get a pretty easy kill since you're fully plated and you have full armor. There they go. They're fighting aggressively. He's got to push this. They are going to hear you. You're probably going to be at the range where an SMG is going to be better, unless you just feel comfortable in your sniping skills. They were both on the UAV, which means the heartbeat sensor will work. He's getting a guy over here. Oh, will he be able to pull this off? The guy jumped out. And he's damaged this guy, and that's the last one. You're probably going to kill him. Oh, smart move. That guy ran out. You couldn't even see it. Pretty good rotate. And then now you're pretty good. Oh, he precisioned himself. Oh my God, that was so close. Very smart on that guy. He basically admitted defeat with that precision. But it worked out. So this guy only has a 40 round? Maybe he's just not rocking a high enough mag. We've run into a lot of high level players here. He was able to pick up a UAV. He has that. There's nobody popping up in the area. That doesn't mean anything necessarily, though. The guy could have ghost. End up getting a precision with the money he had left. Is fully plated, full gas mask. This is where you got to start thinking about winning. And it's going to be a little tricky. Because if people have done recons, they're going to be positioned really well. There's an armor satchel inside this building where that window was. So that means there was engagements here. Upstairs. I don't think they noticed it. But you can see it glowing in the window there. It was one of those armor satchels with a little white outline on it. So there was definitely some action there. It might have been the guy that he just killed, rotated over to the buy, ended up running against someone else. So pretty straightforward here. Nothing crazy. Did I hear footsteps? Maybe that's just I thought he heard it too. It's unlooted, so that's a good sign. Maybe that guy didn't buy the chest when he came in here. He's just peeking his area. Throw that down. Restock. Okay, he still does have the 53. I would have just threw it down so nobody had it. That's what you can do with those munitions. It looks like a hard rotate. You can see there's already an SUV here. I don't think that's a spawn one. This is pretty much a spawn one. They have this little area back here. It kind of sucks because this is the high ground. This would be like where people are going to rotate in from. There's cover. So there's not a lot of good spots. Maybe this house would get you avenues to look around. I would throw that down just to get the munitions out of it and then pop up the Deddy because the Deddy is way too valuable. It's way too broken until they modify the perks in the next update that allow you to have high alert. So yeah, he's throwing it now. He's going to be good there and pick up the dead silence. Get out of there. This is a little bit of a tricky rotation. I would imagine there's going to be people on this side. There's 5 buys right here. 1, 2, 3. This one just despawned. 4. And then the one that was on this backside, which is 5, which is about to despawn in about 30 seconds or so. Doing a pretty good job, though, trying to look around. He's going back in the rotation, but I would have rotated up the right side, not the left here. I would have rotated towards this way instead of this way because there's a little bit more of a higher ground on this side. There's this big old hill, but you'd be able to come up around that versus this. You're out in the open for too long, especially if somebody's kind of in this sniper tower. They do have the potential to stay in bounds for another zone. They might be in there and then jump off on the other side. You just got to plan your rotation a little bit. At least there's some cover here as far as the wall. But if someone were to peek out, you're really kind of in a no man's land right here.
Located bounty contract.
A bounty is a good thing to do now because most people will have ghost. Hopefully it's not consolation where it's done. I've covered this in other videos, but in case you're new to the mechanic, it looks like definitely the guy is in there, which we could have predicted. But the mechanic of the bounties worked is people are only allowed to have a bounty on their team one time. So in this particular case, if all the remaining other 10 players have a bounty on them, then when he grabs that, it'll automatically grab to the first person that does not or has not had a bounty on their head. which is pretty straightforward. If all of the players have had it, and he can grab the consolation prize, and it doesn't work, like that means everyone in the lobby has had a bounty on their head. And in his particular case, if they have not had a bounty on their head, someone else could grab it and it would automatically target them. So kind of what I predicted, there'd be a guy in there. This is a late rotate, and you are likely to be held. So like I said, if you rotated this way, oh, he's going to be able to third party. Someone is in the plane. He does have a dead silence. Somebody left there. So maybe you pop that, come up behind, shoot this guy in the back. He's totally laser focused on this other guy. Doesn't have a claymore at his back. It looks like he's going to be able to get him pretty easy there. I don't know how that was not a kill, but luckily he was able to take care of him. I would, he reset the dead silence. There's still a dead silence on the buy, so it's worth trying to snipe this dude and then go back to dead silence, even though you know somebody's going to be in this top area. That person, maybe they saw the opportunity and rotated. We won't know until a little bit later, but there's still a dead silence in front of you that you can go ahead and remember to grab. That guy might have already jumped while you were in that engagement. You forgot the dead silence, so that's just one of those things. Pretty good kill there. There's only 7 other players. And you know that the guy is still to the left. I think he was still engaging that guy. I didn't see if he 100% died. But he missed out on that dead silence. And this is a very hard rotate. Oh, good spot. He managed to spot the guy's head. And he's probably going to kill this guy. Oh, he missed out. But he's in a decent spot. Luckily, hopefully that guy doesn't have a precision. There it is. He's out. He does have a gold gas mask, so he can make the long play. He can precision for rotation. It'll create an audio issue. Yep. And make it so that it's a little bit... that was way off. But he has the time to rotate. It gives a little bit of noise. He'll be able to come in. The gas mask will probably break before he gets fully in. So he's going to be kind of loud here, but at least he'll be able to get in. The guy's to his left. I heard coughing. You can see the footsteps. He's coughing kind of loud. He's going to get third partied here, and he's just going to die. Good snipe. But he still needs to get in. Nice. There's still a guy behind you. Selfed. I don't know where he is. He has spotter on, too, or whatever. Well, he has tracker, so it's an interesting one. Nice. He ended up getting the guy from earlier. Pretty clean snipe. There's another gas mask. That guy did use half of it, but he's still good. The rotation ended up rotating up. There's not enough money here. Maybe he could loot those bodies and see if they have money. A precision would be helpful. Self-revive would have been nice. Played it about as good as he can. See what he does. This is probably a very good game for this player. Scouting the area. Still got to rotate. There is a car right here. I'm not sure if that is a car spawn, the normal one. Easy. He missed. He got down to cover, so they're not going to see him, but they're going to see him rotating right now. There's only 2 other players. He knows where one is. The goal should be to provide cover for yourself from that other guy you just shot while trying to identify where this last player is. There's 2 loadouts up here, so I don't know if the guy's nearby. But the key here would be to play it safe and try to third party, close that distance. Ideally, they would have that dead silence for this as well. That would have been very helpful. They would have been able to have that to rotate in here. This sucks because the entire zone is out in the open. Very risky here. The people likely have ghost. Unlooted. What? Unless... Oh, he's got his combat bow. Oh, there he is behind the tree. Super easy kill. He messed up. Messed up. He should have been standing where he could like hold it and then shoot. He really choked that. That was the winners. I'll put those on the screen once the lobby populates, because I think the lobbies are having issues right now. As you can see, this was my first match. I got the 1 kill and the 2 deaths because I did win the gulag, and that's pretty much how it goes. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, learned something new. If you did, please do me a favor, hit the like button if you're brand new, want to find your way back. Double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.